I mean, Peter, there are those parents, you know, we heard from Barry McGuigan earlier, actually, and he was saying it's rescued so many children. It's kind of taken them from disadvantaged backgrounds, it's given them an opportunity, it's given them discipline, and it's actually changed their lives.
Well, I think that the way to get kids out of disadvantage is to educate them. And, you know, this idea that it allows working-class boys to get on. I grew up on a council estate in Lambeth. And my teachers directed me towards education, gave me fantastic opportunities, and also directed me towards sport, which I greatly enjoyed. I'm not saying we're against contact sports, but like the British Medical Association, we know just how dangerous boxing is, because it's the sport that the ultimate objective is to render your opponent senseless by repeated blows to the head.
Would you be happy then for there to be boxing on the basis that headshots weren't allowed? You could punch any part of the opponent's body from the navel upwards but below the throat, so that there was no possibility of a head injury. Would you be happy with that?
I'd be happy with that. I'm not sure that the people who demand blood and action in the boxing ring would, and I don't think it would be as attractive to the people that make millions of pounds, billions of pounds, who never risk their own lives, but they put other people's lives at risk. And
you don't get race car drivers going and saying, am I going to crash today?
Have you knocked people out? Have you knocked people out in bouts?
I have done, yeah.
You put them on the canvas, down they've gone. Do you ever worry? I'm not asking this in any hostile sense at all. This is a spirit of curiosity. Having knocked someone out, which means you've given them brain damage, that's medically speaking, do you ever worry that maybe in a few years' time they might begin to have issues with their memory and with their balance and coordination?
I worry as soon as it's done.
Do you?
You know, I'm still a human, I'm still a person, and I just want both of us to be able to get out the ring healthy, but obviously I want to win as well. So
it's a real dichotomy, isn't it?
It is. I mean, how are you able to do it in that case? Because you're obviously conscious about that side of things.
It's just in the name of the sport. That's what we do. It's like for them 8, 10, half an hour that you're in there, it's you versus another person. It's like a gladiatorial.
On behalf of the sport, though, it's fair to say that these days, as opposed to maybe up to about 25 years ago, referees step in much more quickly now to stop a fight. It used to be you used to see a guy beaten to a pulp, basically, until he couldn't get up. But now referees will step in quite quickly. So the amount of brain damage compared to, say, 20 years ago is a lot less, isn't it, in the ring? I mean, that's true.
I'm not sure. We had a bout where Chris Eubanks Sr. actually stopped a fight. And, you know, the man that his son was fighting could have been killed if that had been allowed to continue. And yet it was the corner of the opponent that stopped the fight. So does it stop too soon? And, you know, there are all sorts of issues.
Well, it stops earlier than it used to. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And that's true. I mean, you have to accept that.
Well, I think that was allowed to go on too long. That fight took place in the last 12 months. And, you know, I'm aware of a number of young boxers, a 17-year-old boxer that was killed in the ring a few months ago. So what's going on there?
And Tasha, what's, you know, the situation here with young boxers when they're starting out? Like, what age did you start? And were you starting straight away with literally hitting people in the head? You know, what's the process for children taking up boxing?
There is a long process. You know, I got into the game a little bit later. I was 21 when I started. But for the young kids, I've done a bit of coaching in my club. And, you know, there's lots of training that goes into it before you even get to put the gloves on and hit somebody else. So you're training for months before that. And just speaking about, going back to what you said, you know, that's 1 and 2 incidents. And unfortunately, they're the ones that we highlight, but there's thousands of boxing matches that go on.
And actually, you have to say that people die on the rugby field as well, and they break their necks on the rugby field in the scrum, you know, in the ruck, and can get brain injuries because of collision. So it's not just boxing; it's all contact sports have a risk. It's just that boxing, because you're deliberately targeting the head, has this image problem. Very quickly, do you think it would work if headshots were banned and it was just the number of you won or lost a fight based on the number of contact punches you made?
I don't think that would be something that people wanted to see.
No, they want to see a guy go down, don't they?
But you've got a young daughter. Would you be happy for her to take up boxing?
You know, I'd just do exactly what my mum did, which was be supportive in whatever I did. And if she wants to box, she could box. If she wanted to dance, she could dance. You know, I wouldn't...
I've got 2 grandsons, and I would not want them to be boxing, because I know just how easy it is for a young person to sustain a blow that causes their death or leaves them with a lifelong disability. And that affects the whole family, not just the individual.
Last word to the champ.
We were speaking earlier in the green room, but, you know, life in general can cause accidents. So what are we saying? What kind of message are we going to give out to our children? Not to move out the house. You know,
no, encourage them to take up sports that don't lead to that kind of consequence. That's what I say.
OK, we're not going to agree.
It's a fascinating debate, isn't it? Yeah.
Good of you to come in and take that on and talk honestly about it. And, you know, and your feelings and thoughts after a fight when you have knocked somebody down. That's very interesting.